Good day everyone, I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan and you are watching I Care. Today, we will tackle about the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands. Spratly Islands are a large group of reefs, shoals, atolls, and small islets in the South China Sea of the Pacific Ocean. They are located north of insular Malaysia and are roughly midway between Vietnam and the Philippines. They are claimed in their entirety by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam, while portions are claimed by Malaysia and the Philippines. In 1985, Brunei claimed a continental shelf that overlaps a southern reef but has not made any formal claim on the reef. Brunei claims an exclusive economic zone over this area. Spratly Islands is the source of conflict because of its oil abundance and other natural resources and the strategic location. The conflict between China and the Philippines is the result of years of territorial dispute over the Spratly Islands. Pieces of evidence are presented by China and the Philippines to support their case over the disputed territory in Spratly Islands. China lay a claim to the Spratlys, citing historical records and more. It cites the 9-dash line, which first appeared in 1947 atlases, as the basis for its claim. The line, it said, is a historical demarcation of its continental shelf, although the line itself has no fixed coordinates. Currently, the 9-dash line, which appears in Chinese maps, claims a majority of the South China Sea as part of China's national boundary and asserts sovereignty over the islands within and the adjacent water. This has emboldened China to build artificial islands in the Spratlys, damaging the ecosystem of the West Philippine Sea in the process. On the other hand, the Philippines claims the northeastern section of the Spratly Islands as the Caga-anan Island Group, in addition to the Scarborough Shoal, which it calls the Bajo de Masinloc. The Philippines claims the Caga-anan Island Group on the assumption that after Japan renounced its title in the San Francisco Treaty of Peace of 1951, they reverted to being terra nullius because title was not explicitly passed to another state. Therefore, when a Filipino explorer named Thomas Cloma declared ownership over 33 maritime features in the Spratly Islands in 1956, no other country had a valid claim to them. In 1978, the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos issued a decree that listed 3 bases for the Philippines' legitimate rights to the territory: contiguity with the Philippine archipelago, historical title, and the lapsing of others' claims. The Spratlys is within Philippines proximity and connected in the Philippines archipelago with just few kilometers from the province of Palawan of the Philippines. Other claimants are not archipelagic states and they are far from beyond the limit of the UNC clause of the 200 nautical miles exclusive economic zone. The Philippines as an archipelagic country and within proximity, it counts merits in administering the Spratlys. In addition, historical claims said that the Sultanate state of Sulu was the legal owner of the Spratlys archipelago, but since the Sultan Kiram turned over his territorial and proprietary rights of the state to the Republic of the Philippines, including the North Borneo, Palawan, and the Spratlys in 1960s, then legally it belongs to the Philippines. China's self-proclaimed demarcation contradicts the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Despite diplomatic resolutions, tensions over opposing claims reached a breaking point in 2012 with the Scarborough Shoal standoff, in which Chinese surveillance vessels prevented the Philippine Navy from arresting Chinese fishermen anchored within the atoll. The standoff, as well as other maritime aggressions by China, such as building artificial islands and illegally fishing and harvesting corals and live sharks, led the Philippines to file a case with the UN-backed Permanent Court of Arbitration or the PCA in The Hague, Netherlands. The PCA tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines. In a 501-page decision, the PCA said that China violated Philippine sovereignty over its EEZ and continental shelf based on the rules set by UN clause, which overrides China's 9-dash line rule. The judges ruled that there was no legal basis for Beijing to claim historic rights to resources in areas under its 9-dash line. In response to the PCA decision, former President Rodrigo Duterte said that he would not go to a war for a battle I cannot win. The US immediately sided with the Philippines, one of its military allies. The Department of State released a statement on December 19, 2022, saying Washington supports the Philippines' continued calls upon the People's Republic of China to respect the international law of the sea in the South China Sea. In contrast, the current President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has stressed that Philippines has no intention of conceding any of its territorial sovereignty under pressure from abroad. In present time, the Spratly Islands still have an ongoing territorial dispute between 6 countries including China, the Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Brunei concerning ownership of the area. In relation with the ongoing territorial dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands, I interviewed 5 individuals with different ages here in our community. Let us hear their opinions about the said territorial dispute. Good morning, ma'am. I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan. Can I interview with you, ma'am?
Yes,
Can I include you in my documentary, ma'am?
sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let's begin. You can answer in vernacular or in Bisaya language, ma'am. So the first question, are you aware of the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands?
Yes, kaya marag kabalik-balik naman nag-ibalita sa TV niya. Sige, post sa social media.
What can you say about the issue, ma'am?
Luoy tang taga Philippines kay ang mga mangisda na to kay ilham bitaw ang haras.
What are your suggestions on what actions the Philippines must take to not be the losing end of the matter?
Mangita o kanang mga scientists bitaw kanang mag-invent of weapons na mas advanced pa kaysa sa China kay kadung bitaw ang China kay nabitay mga advanced pa nga weapons. So magawa ko dito mas advanced.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan. Is it okay to do an interview with you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I film you and include you in my documentary, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you, sir. Let's begin. You can answer in vernacular or in Bisaya language, sir. The first question, are you aware of the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands?
Yes, ma'am. Kaya mabalita mo sa niyo sa ilabi na to ilang yara sa itong mga mangingisda.
The second question, what can you say about the issue?
Unta-undangan na sa China ang pagpangilog sa Spratly Island kay gubot na gid kayo o padayon lang gipunta sa pagbantay na ng dapita para dili mailog tanan.
The third question, what are your suggestions on what actions the Philippines must take to not be the losing end of the matter?
Ako masuggest, ma'am, is focus ka na itong mga military forces para magbantay ng dapita o mga yatay tabang sa international laws para dili ta mapildi o marata mo.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan. Is it okay to do an interview with you, ma'am?
Yes, it's okay.
Can I film you and include you in my documentary, ma'am?
That's fine.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let's begin. You can answer in vernacular or in Bisaya language, ma'am. So the first question, are you aware of the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands?
Yes, aware ko ani kay nadunggan ako ni sa balita like nagama to sila og artificial island.
The second question, what can you say about the issue?
Akong may kasulti is dugay naman ni siya nga issue niya. Wala jud ni ma-resolve sukad-sukad then kani taga China is mga ilugan jud ni sila gusto sila kanang sakupon ng tibok kalibutan. Sige inyuhan na lang na. Charis.
So the third question, what are your suggestions on what actions the Philippines must take to not be the losing end of the matter?
Dili ta mo give up. Uy, laban ta. Dili na to pailog niya to ang kuan diri sa Pilipinas. Laban gihapon.
Thank you, ma'am, for your cooperation.
You're welcome. Salamat pod.
Good morning, sir. I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan. Is it okay to do an interview with you?
Yes, of course.
Can I film you and include you in my documentary, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now let's begin. You can answer in vernacular or in Bisaya language. So the first question, are you aware of the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands?
Yes, I am aware.
What can you say about the issue?
wa magay kasulbara ng isyu. Kani adto pa na hangtod karon nagpermanente gyapon ng isyu way pagkawala.
What are your suggestions on what actions the Philippines must take to not be the losing end of the matter?
Ang aksyon na nila kung unsay ilang mahimo palo gid ta kay kani adto ra man na way aksyon na magaling aksyon default tanan wala na himo.
So thank you, sir. That's all. Good morning, sir. I am Zeeny-Ann Caga-anan. Is it okay to do an interview with you?
Yeah, ma'am.
Can I include you in my documentary, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now let's begin. You can answer in vernacular or in Bisaya language. So the first question, are you aware of the dispute between China and the Philippines over the Spratly Islands?
Yes, ma'am. Kabati ko ni anak.
What can you say about the issue?
Wala ko kauyon sa ilang gibuhat nga ilogon ang Spratly Island.
What are your suggestions on what actions the Philippines must take to not be the losing end of the matter?
Kung mo na ilang ilogon, may pagirahon ang China.
Thank you, sir, for your cooperation. My suggestions on what the Philippines must do to not be on the losing end of the matter is to never give up. This must be the first and most necessary step our country must take. Giving up on this matter is like betraying our own country. If we easily give up, the Chinese government will see us weak. They will continue to look down and step on us. Our president must also try his best to have a holistic strategy that can safeguard our rights, especially with regards to our own territories. Appealing for legal help to an international court and abiding international laws can greatly help us to get what is really ours. Despite all the tensions, we must prohibit the use of weapons. Starting a war against China is not the answer. It is also against in our constitution. However, strengthening our armed forces that safeguard and secure our territory is necessary for us to be safe in case of any attacks. We all knew that China has a massive army. It is a fact that we cannot beat them, but it doesn't mean that we should stop voicing our rights. Laban Pilipinas!